welcome to the Breakout Podcast, episode 5. I am your host, Chad Diamandis, here with my co-host, Bill. And Bill, we are back again for the first ever Breakout mock draft. We're going to talk some draft today. Ready to talk some NHL prospects?
Yeah, it'll be fun. Ready to get a little mocky, and the way we're going to do this is we're going to alternate, and we'll just act as if we were the GM of that team taking our pick, and we'll tell you why, and basically go from right there and give you a little pointers and everything that they've done this year.
Sounds like a blast if you ask me. So how it's going to work, we're only going to look at the top 10. Later after the podcast, we will post our full first round mock, but we'll only talk about the top 10 today. And then after that, we're going to get into some NHL randoms, I guess you could say. Talk a little Babcock, a little Game 6, Game 7 coming up in the next few days. Should be some exciting stuff. But let's jump right into the mock draft. We're going to start from the first spot and work our way up to 10. So, Bill, I will let you be the first pick. You are on the clock. You're the Edmonton Oilers. Who's going first? I think we know who it is.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. Kind of just walk up and say Connor McDavid. I don't think anyone in the room will be surprised. He's been there for a couple of years now, and I don't see there's any way Edmonton doesn't take him or trades out. Management there has been pretty terrible, but this one just falls right into their lap. The funny thing is, I think they were actually happy at 3 and just ready to take Hannafin and solidify that defense that they need to do. But
one of those like goalies, look what I found kind of
deal. But when Connor McDavid falls into your lap, it's a pretty easy choice. He actually is in the OHL finals right now. They got Game 3 going tonight.
Yeah, I think are they down 0-2 or they won 1? I thought they might be down 0-2.
They might be. I know they lost the first game.
Yeah, they lost Game 1. I think they might have lost Game 2 too. They're playing the Generals, so that's a good club too. Yeah,
they've been doing well. So, pick one. Pretty easy. It should take about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need much explanation here. Generational talent, future face of the NHL potentially. So it's Connor McDavid 1. So let's go to number 2. I am Tim Murray. I'm just walk up to the podium and I'm going to look everybody in the eye and do what I did last year and just say Jack Eichel. Eichel is, again, a pretty easy pick here. Superstar in the making, face of the Sabres franchise going forward. He's played well at the World Championships. He's gotten better as he's gone on. So he said he was going to use it as a measuring stick to see if he was NHL ready to decide if he was coming out. But the way he's played, I think he's definitely got to come out.
Yeah, he looks ready. Everything I've seen, I've watched a couple of the World's games. He's looked really good. His speed is not lost there. He's out skating everyone. He's got in a couple mini breakaways. Still strong on the puck, and everything you're looking for him to do. It looked like he used the first 2-3 games to kind of get his feet wet, get into it, and that game against the Russians, he kind of took off. He looked really well, and even the things he was struggling with, early on this season, with face-offs and stuff, he's even doing well now with that. So I don't see there's any way how he can go back to college. I think it would just be a waste of 10 months or whatever it is until he gets to one game. Why go back for one game? So I definitely think he's here next year.
Yeah, I mean everyone says he's so competitive too. So I think it's competitive nature. One, I think it's a great thing because what he struggles in, he's going to work hard to be great at. And I think his competitive nature just takes over, and he just goes to NHL level. And I think he's in Buffalo next year, top center, maybe not top center, but number 2 center in his rookie year. But I definitely look for him to be in Buffalo next year.
Yeah, I think it depends on who the coach is. I definitely could see Eichel Kane line is pretty nasty.
Yeah,
so
that would be.
Good luck trying to get the puck away from them. But we'll see. We have quite a bit of time here to go, and kind of just see how things play out as we go along here.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move to the number 3 spot, and we have our old friends, the Arizona Coyotes. They took that inevitable fall that everybody was afraid of. You're stuck in 2, and if you lose that lottery, you're in trouble, and here they are sitting at 3. But with a deep draft, they're going to get a great pick. So, Bill, at 3, you're the Arizona GM. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I think they didn't want to drop, especially with the franchise troubles they've been having. If they could have got themselves a McDavid, maybe they can somehow fight their way out of it. But who knows what's going to happen for the franchise in the future. But for now, I think they go back to Erie and go Dylan Strome. I think they look for a center. They have nothing really up front right now. Gagne and Arcobello. So
Don't forget about Bacher. He's still there.
oh yeah, Bacher is still there. So I mean, yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah.
Surgery, but yeah, I mean even that that's not a great NHL anything. So I think you get Dylan Strome, and the thing is, I don't even know if he plays in Arizona. I mean their team's so bad he probably can. But if I'm Arizona, maybe I send him back down for another year and try and go after Austin Matthews.
Yeah, it might not be a terrible idea. Just I'm with you there. I don't know if his skating's NHL ready.
That's the thing. Yeah,
He kind of got a little. I don't know. I guess I'll say Sam Reinhart, Greg Renko in him. He's got the skill, the talent. Just I don't know if that comes through yet with his footwork. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's trained enough in his skating ability. Let's put it that way. He might need to go back, work on that. And I don't think it would hurt, for him to get the extra experience in juniors, and then, like you said, maybe Arizona takes one more crack at it and they try to get Matthews. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I like you said, it's kind of like it could be like a Reinhardt thing where he could come up, he could play, but I think they send him down and then they say instead of going for the scoring title this year, work on defense, work on skating, work on getting bigger. 6'3", 185, you can put on a couple more pounds there. And I think if he might not like it initially, but I don't think it'll be the worst thing in the world for him.
Work on being a leader too, because this year it's McDavid's team. Next year, if he goes back, it'll be his team.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it'll be a good pick for them, but I think it'll also be a smart thing if they probably hold back. I mean, maybe you can bring up Domi and Duclair.
Yeah.
So maybe you bring those guys up since they were last draft and see what they have and give Strome another year.
Yeah. All right, so around the number 4, and for me, this is where we could start to get a little interesting here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto's in a spot where they could go almost anywhere. They have a lot of needs. They're going to be moving out some guys, most likely. Shanahan said he's in the middle of a rebuild. So, I mean, this is a lot can change here with this pick. Right now, I have Toronto going with Noah Hannafin, the defenseman out of Boston College. Some draft boards you look at, he's taken maybe a little bit of a dip. Starting off the season, he was the, runaway number 3 guy, top defenseman in the draft. And a guy we're going to talk about a little bit later here, Provorov, might be closing the gap on him. Right now, I still think he is the best defender in the draft. Toronto needs defense. I don't know how they can pass up, a defensive prospect this good when they need it that bad. And he can provide offense from the blue line too. It's not just his defense, and he can get the puck up ice. And they need a guy who can get the puck out of the zone and keep puck possession. I mean, they're what, like the Sabres? They're one of the worst puck possession teams in hockey for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they need a guy like him. I think it's a no-brainer. But
yeah, we agree here. Looking back, their youngest, they got O'Reilly, and that's kind of it. They got rid of Franzen in that trade with Nashville. Most likely it looks like Phaneuf's gone, so it definitely doesn't hurt to get another stud back there on defense. Hannafin is, conservatively, he'll probably be, top 4, top 2 guy. He'll be like an Ekblad kind of, is what they're saying, at least initially, early on. And I think that'll still hold true. I think, like you said, it's definitely more offensive, but he's got the size to bring that defensive game. Or more aggressively, I should say, use the body. And I think he can work on that. And once he does, he'll be, an all-around guy. And if he can start putting some pucks in the net, and like you said, giving them an outlet pass, it's definitely a hole of many that Toronto needs to fill.
Yeah, I mean, they drafted Nylander last year. So, I mean, he's got a lot of potential there and up front. So, you got your forward last year, and I think you get your defender this year. And then, the way things are looking in Toronto, they could be up in the top again. I mean, they could be in the Matthews conversation next year. That's the route they want to go.
Yeah, definitely. And, see, I think the thing is, the big thing with Toronto is nobody knows who's going to go and what they're going to get for him. So if they have something in the works where they're going to get a stud young defenseman or a huge center, or if they're going to fill something out via trade that we just don't know about right now, that can obviously change.
Yeah.
But I think the spot they're in, if the top three go the way we think, I definitely think they go Hannafin there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think so. All right, moving right along here. So we are on to number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes. So, I mean, this guy, I can't believe he dropped this far, but who's going 5 here?
I think if Carolina is sitting at 5 and he's still sitting there, you go Mitch Marner, no question. I think they get all giddy and run up to the podium and just say it. And he's small. It might be a little concerned, but hey, he's got the skill, he's got the speed, he's got everything you're looking for. He could be, I've heard, Patrick Kane-esque. So I think Carolina, definitely with the spot they're in, that they're a good team that had injuries early, and you could see later on that there wasn't that they're a bad team. They became a better possession team. With the Stahl brothers, they were putting more pucks in the net, and they were starting to win games. They were near the bottom, and then they kind of ran way out of it. So I think putting Mitch Marner with the Stahls or getting him with the Skinner, that's going to be pretty deadly in Carolina. And then they can just look to maybe fill out some D, or I don't know if they're going to stick with Ward or what they're going to do there.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they got Falk on the defensive end too. I mean, so they got some guys there on defense. So I mean,
they don't need to draft a D here, but I think they'll need some retooling. But I think they're not as far away as a lot of people think.
No, I mean Carolina, especially if you add Marner to the mix, I mean, that's a lot of offensive talent they got up front. So they can definitely be right up there again, and that could be a scary team in a few years. All right, so now we're on to the New Jersey Devils, and New Jersey. Speaking of Austin Matthews, that could be your team next year. New Jersey's in a spot where I think they need to hit the rebuild button because they don't have much, but they get the 6th overall pick here, and
the question is, will they do it?
Yeah.
I think throwing Ray Shero in at GM isn't really fooling anybody. I think Lou is still pulling the strings in the back, and anybody in New Jersey that's kind of hoping for that they are going to blow this up and do it right. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But
yeah, and with the guy that got him going here, I think he's the biggest question mark in the whole draft, and that's Lawson Krause out of Kingston. I got him here at 6. When I first drew up my mock draft and sent it to you, I didn't even have him in the top 10.
No.
That was just my feel on the guy. I mean, he's got his size, 6'4", 215. He can skate well for a big guy. But, I mean, you don't score goals at the junior level. I don't know. I mean, 51 points in 56 games. I know Kingston wasn't a great team, but we gotta put the puck in the net at the junior level. How's that going to translate to the NHL? If you can't score in juniors, how can I count on you to score in the NHL? And I mean, I'm going to spend a top 10 pick on you. With his size, his skill, his skating ability will get him picked in the top 10. But I have him as the biggest question mark in the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. He seems like he'll definitely project out to be like, top 9, but that's the scary part. That's why he's a question mark. He could be your third line guy that's going to kill penalties, or if he finally, learns to use his size and speed to put the puck in the net and goes to the net in the NHL, he might be able to be top 6. But yeah, whoever's taking a flyer on him, I might be nervous to use, a top 10 on him. He could, who knows? You just don't know. He could turn out to be great. He could turn out to kind of not a bust, but he can kind of flame out for where he would be picked.
Yeah, the way I kind of put it is maybe I shouldn't go there. He has better skating, but I was going to say like a Zach Kassian, but Kassian doesn't skate as well as Krause does, so I'll take that back. But I'm with you. I don't. He could be great, but he could also be that guy we look back, in a couple of years at this stacked draft and go, "Ooh, Krause at 6." That can be the same thing too.
Yeah, and especially for New Jersey.
Yeah,
not much in the pipeline, and
they really can't afford to make a mistake here because that could set that franchise back even farther to make a mistake here.
So yeah, that'll be tough. If that does happen, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the Philadelphia Flyers, and this is this guy's probably one of my favorite players in the entire draft. So who do we got going to Philly here?
We decided to pick Ivan Provorov out of Brandon. I think it'll be a good pick here. For Philly, for him, he's been climbing up the draft boards, and for him to be here, I think they kind of lick their chops and just take it. He's going to be a stud in the NHL. I think he's going to fill out some needs that they definitely need on the back end. They haven't had too much problem scoring. I think they were hovering around 3 goals a game mostly for at least the beginning of the year. I remember. So if they can get some more help on the back end, and I think he's your man to do it. He's got good size, and his potential is pretty high up there. Like you said, he's given Hannafin kind of not really a run, but he's climbing fast, and people saying he might project out in a couple of years to be better as the defenseman and out of this draft. So I think it's a good pick here for Philly, and I think it'll work well with the team. And that's.
I mean, he has that Philly mantra, that big defenseman, who's not afraid to hit you. I think he's easily NHL ready. I'd be very surprised he's not on the Flyers next year. He dominated at Brandon. He can get that first pass out of the zone, no problem, get the offense going, get up to Giroux, Voracek, and get going. So I think this is a absolute steal here for Philadelphia. And that's if he's still there. I mean, the way he's climbing up draft boards, if we do this again when we get close to the draft, he might be going, he might be New Jersey's pick. He might be up where Carolina is. I mean, he could really start to jump up some people's draft boards.
Totally agree. And that's what I was going to say is if New Jersey's smart, maybe they go safer route here and pick him over Krause.
Yes, sir. All right, we have 3 picks left, cruising to the top 10. So we're on the Columbus Blue Jackets, who is a pretty good club that's getting a top 10 pick. So who they will add here, I'm going to go with Seattle center Matthew Barzal. The big Canadian center. He's a great two-way player, got some great vision, and excellent skating ability. And his release, it's NHL ready release. He can put up some points. He's another guy who's climbing up the draft boards. So I think this is going to be a great pick and a great fit for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I think he might be maybe not the steal of the draft, but especially if he fits into Columbus pretty quickly with the team they have currently. I think he'll just explode onto the scene. He's pretty good off the rush and in the cycle. He could definitely be top 6 for them. He could turn out to be top 6 and definitely first power play. With like you said, they were the hottest team for us coming down the end. Obviously, with their 13 in a row, 15 in a row,
something like that, yeah.
And it's kind of I wouldn't say a blessing in disguise, but kind of for them to have the team they have and to just kind of accidentally have a bad season. If he projects out to what everyone's saying, it could be huge for Columbus, and it might even put him over the top.
Yeah, great. I mean, this would be a great pick for the Jackets here. All right, on to number 9. We were at the San Jose Sharks, another team who's in a little bit of a transition period. And we are going to go with our first player who's actually not currently playing in North America. So number 9, Bill out of Finland. Who are we going with?
Going with Mikko Rantanen. I think for San Jose, like you said, they're going through a phase here, and who knows if Thornton will be there? If that could happen.
Marlowe's on the way out, maybe.
Who knows if they're going to do it and do it right too? But it's definitely everything that's going on in San Jose is not good, and players are fighting with GMs. The mutually parted, quote unquote. I think Todd McClellan was pretty happy to get out of there.
Yeah.
It just looked like it's a tire fire waiting to happen. And so depending on what they do coming up here, trade-wise and maybe cuts or whatever has to happen. But I think Mikko will be good here. He's pretty big, 6'4", 209. He's been moving up the draft boards quite a bit here, especially since the midway point. And he's got the size, he's got skill, and he's got some drive. So he could use his size a little better, and especially in the offensive zone. But for a bottom 10, I don't think it's a bad thing here. I think he's a top 9 with a possibility of a top 6, and especially with San Jose not knowing kind of where they're going right now, getting a 6'4" center is never a bad thing.
Yeah. Before we started, I told you he reminded me a lot of when the Sabres drafted Armia. He's that big finish forward with that excellent excellent skill. Can play a two-way game, but just really doesn't know how to use his body yet. So, it might take him a few years to get to the NHL. Play a little bit in the AHL, probably another season or two in Finland. I think how it works in Finland, it's how it was for Army at least. They have to finish their military obligation first before they'll leave.
Yeah.
So, it probably won't be a few years till we see him in San Jose, but I think it's a good pick here. He can, with that size and skill, you can be getting a great player. All right, so we're on to our last team, the Colorado Avalanche, rounding out the top 10. And I have them picking defenseman out of Michigan, Zach Werenski. This could be a little bit high for the Michigan defender, but I think the fit is there. Colorado is absolutely loaded up front. So I think the next best defenseman here would be Werenski. And I think it would be a great pick for them to add him to the blue line. They need help on the blue line, and he can definitely provide it.
Yeah, he's got a big offensive upside. I think he could, especially in Colorado. I don't know if it'll be next year, but he could definitely fit into their top four. He'll definitely be a power play guy for you, which will help. I think you need somebody else back there that's gonna, like you said, they're loaded up front. You need someone that's in the back there that'll get him the puck and kind of help work the power play. If you can work him into that and kind of just have him, focus on his offensive game, and I think, especially where Colorado is right now, you kind of just got to outscore teams. And it might not be the best idea, but especially with where they're sitting right now, it's probably their only idea for next year anyways. So, like I said, I don't know if he'll make it, but I think he'll have a chance to. And if he can, I think he might be like not a dark horse, but I think he could be like, rookie conversation top.
Yeah.
Top guy especially on their team.
Yeah,
it's just such a good fit, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. I mean, the way I wrote it down is he's not going to wow you in any particular area, but he's solid all around in almost all areas of the game. He has great awareness, from what's happening around him. So I think that'll be a great boost to the Avalanche, decor. Like you said, it might not be next year. I could see him going back to Michigan for at least one more year.
It's probably the right thing. I just don't know what they'll do.
Yeah, I don't know what their timeline is. So there it is. That is our top 10. So like I said, we'll post that after the podcast here. We'll have our actually first round, all 30 teams. So we're going to jump into some NHL news for a little bit here. And let's start off with the hot topic going around the NHL right now, and that is Babcock watch. Bab watch.
Yeah, he was in full force here. He was in Harbor Center, touring the facilities with Tim Murray and Terry and Kim. It seemed like, for the most part, it went as well as he could. I would say that, not secretly, but this is a huge reason why Terry went ahead and built Harbor Center.
Yeah.
So when all of a sudden the best coach, arguably in the league, maybe not arguably, decides to hit the market, you can go, hey, look at what we got.
Yeah, look at this awesome building. Yeah.
So
I have 3 hockey rinks within 30 feet of each other.
Yeah. So you can just be like, hey, Joe Louis has history, but check these out.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy for Pagula to just, I think him and Kim are just so, well, they're known as being so personable, so down to earth. And I think they just, they kind of did exactly what they were going to do. I don't know if it's going to,
work.
Yeah, exactly. Because who knows? I've still seen Detroit is obviously like 60-40, if not a little higher.
Yeah.
And then you got Buffalo, Toronto, Edmonton right there. I don't know if he goes anywhere else besides those. What I will say is that he said, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
So what needed to happen the other day is that Kim needed to fall in love with Bab's wife and vice versa. And if they became best friends in one day, maybe it'll work. But who knows if that happened or, if that will happen.
Yeah, no, with Babcock, it's interesting. I don't know. I still part of me he's got, I still think he's going to go back to Detroit. I think they have the upper hand right now. If you made me put money on it, I think I would put money on Detroit. But I think if he leaves, Buffalo's right up near the top. Edmonton looks like they're going to McClellan now. Mm-hmm. That's the word on the street. So, they could be out of it. There's Toronto, who's Toronto, but does he really want to get involved in that mess that it could be right now?
I can't see him going to Toronto, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no reason. I mean, he's from the West, and I mean, he's been to Detroit, but why? I don't know. They'll obviously the money is there, but the money's kind of everywhere.
They'll get paid
right
wherever
now.
you go. Yeah.
So I mean, even Philly's they'll throw money at you if you want, but I just where they are right now, I don't think that's what he wants. They need to go full-fledged rebuild mode, and they're going to do that with, I'm thinking, the trades that they're going to make in this offseason. And I just don't see Bab being that kind of team. That's not the team he's looking for.
Yeah, and just San Jose too, but they're like, I think San Jose is in a spot right now where do you really want to be a part of that? If he has another, I don't know, like a not so good season, then your GM's out, then you got to get a new GM coming in, and
I'm kind of surprised he stayed this year.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, then that's that, and that's.
I probably would have moved on Doug Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Before I would have let McClellan go, but the whole situation there just doesn't look good.
Right, so I don't know if he wants to be part of that, but I think the other team to watch could be Philly. They're laying in the weeds right now, keeping it quiet. I don't see how that's much different from Detroit, and then I look at it this way: if it's not much different than what I have, then why am I going to go there and start over again?
Yeah, why go for change when you don't need to? They always say change is hard, and if it's the same thing, why change? So, no, I totally agree with that. You save yourself a lot of time and effort if you're just going to go from one place to the other if it's the same thing.
When you're literally almost the same spot. I mean, Philly, they have that top-on talent just like Detroit has, but, beyond that, there's not much in the system.
I think for Detroit, if their argument is going to be that the top guys still have 2 or 3 more years, and that they'll figure out the bottom end talent in that time.
Yeah.
So but the thing is, they can't be saying we're going to be cup contenders, because what they would need to do right now would be to make a couple trades and get young talent.
That's not what Holland does, though.
And that's not exactly not what he does. Yeah. So I don't know. His head's got to be spinning, honestly. I mean, it's a tough decision for us, and we have no real, I mean, besides being in Buffalo, we have no real skin in the game, especially from his point. I could see him taking quite a bit of time to make this decision.
He has till May 25th. That's what Detroit gave him. That's their self-imposed deadline. So if he's got till the 25th to make a decision.
That's still 2 weeks.
Yeah, that still gives him some time. And he's in Prague now, maybe with some other teams. But it'll be interesting. I mean, the way I look at it, I say he's going to stay, but, if I told my, let's say, girlfriend, hey, I think I want to be with you still, but I'm going to go check these girls out over here. Do you really still want to be with that girl? I mean, it's tough. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'll tell you that.
I get to see him in his den, lights dim, making his little T charts of pros and cons for each team.
That's what I've been doing when I've been thinking about it, and I'm not even him, and I'm doing it for each team. So I can only imagine what he's doing.
It's tough. It's hard to leave where but I'll say this: what he has is so rare.
Yeah.
He basically just was able to go out and, I mean, when's the last coach that could leave where he was, not get fired, just be like, guess what? I'm going to go and all other teams are going to want me. So,
you don't see literally a free agent coach who hasn't been fired, who's literally just a free agent out there very much. That's kind of crazy.
So, for him, I obviously enjoy it, but it's so – with the opportunity he has, you think it's kind of hard to stay because you can just
like I said, you see everything else is out there. You're like, oh, wow, look at all this. And then do you really want to go back?
I'm still in my 50s now. I can pick up wherever I go, a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
You can
stud. The other side of the grass isn't always greener, but,
it might be.
Yeah, that's true. That's the part I think that he's looking into right now. All right, so Babcock, more to come on that. Should be fun to watch. So we'll keep an eye on that, especially here in Buffalo. We'll be right in the middle of it sounds like. So before we switch topics here, let me just throw this at you, throwing it right at you. Just yell at a team. Mike Babcock, where's he coaching next year?
That's so hard. Initially I would think Edmonton. I would want to say Edmonton, but with everything I'm hearing about McClellan, I just don't know. I don't know. But if you had asked me a week ago, I would have said Edmonton. I don't know. I'm too biased. I see I see what's here, and how can you not want this? Like,
Yeah.
you got the coolest. The only thing that might give me pause would be that he's gonna want more say in
He said he
everything.
didn't want to be GM though. That's not him. That's what he said.
That's what he said, but that's not. I don't know. I feel like it's not what everyone else has been saying about him.
Yeah.
So, and I just not only I know it's Mike Babcock, but in TMGM we trust. So, GM, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather him have the full say. Like he said to Nolan, he's just like, sit in your seat and do your job. Like, this is my job. I'm doing it, and I'm gonna do it well. And he has been for what I say. It's tough.
As much as it breaks my heart, I'll be the man here. I'll say it. I'll go out and say it. He's in Detroit next year. That's where I would go. Like I said, someone told me to put money on it. I had a gun to my head. And I think he's in Detroit. I know it's crazy. He's going out and checking out the lot, but something inside me says he's going back. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong because I would love to have him here. All right, so before we wrap up here, let's talk a little NHL playoffs. The Western Conference is set. Anaheim and Chicago.
Ooh, baby.
That is going to be a fun series. I can't wait for that. But some people saying, that's the Stanley Cup final right there pretty much. Whoever comes out of that's going to win.
Yeah, well, who knows? I said that last year at the West too, but it did happen.
Yes, exactly.
But it always feels that way, huh? It really does. But I mean, the East they have looked better this year. But there's something about the West that's just like
I think they're more round teams.
They're epitome of playoff
teams.
hockey.
Yeah,
they're deeper, they're bigger, they're gonna throw you around, and when penalties aren't called, it's the big guys who are slashing you 2 hands over the head.
Yeah,
that are gonna win most times out of not. So, but yeah, it's. I don't even want to make a decision because I think it's gonna be. I'll just kick back and watch that series.
Yeah, exactly. Please give me 7. I'll take 7 games of that series. That'll be awesome.
I'll be freaking out. But yeah, and then you got Game 6. I hope that ends. Just put them out of their misery.
I know Tampa Bay. Come on, goodness gracious. I mean, geez. You struggle through the first round, then you get to the second round, you go up 3-0, everyone's like, all right, Tampa's back. And then here we are, they're back to where they were again in the first round. I mean, they just that team just, I don't know. I mean, I'm a huge Lightning supporter for what they are. I think they're a great team, but you don't know what you're going to get out of that club. I mean, they just want to, if they play the right game that they can play, they're going to beat any team, but they just, especially in the playoffs, they just seem not up to playing that game, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I feel like they got up 3-0 and thought that the fourth game was kind of just going to be handed to them.
Yeah, they thought Montreal's going to roll over and just let them take it.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even play that well in Game 3, and they kind of just like, oh, look, we won.
Yeah.
So they thought they could do it for, the next 2, and it hasn't happened. I think, they get a little kick in the ass here, and they go into Tampa, and they just do what they got to do. The only thing I would get worried is this is still Carey Price. You got to probably put 2, 3, 4 up on.
Yeah.
Bishop's been a little shaky again, and
it's weird because he was good started the series, and now he's back to where he was too.
So, but I think they get it done. I think they put us all out of our misery, and then they can die in the next round if that's what they're going to be like. Because I don't think they get through 3 if they play like they have the first 2.
I'll tell you what though, if they don't win Game 6 and it gets back to the Bell Center, I mean, I should come back from 3-0. Good luck, because I don't know. I don't think they're winning that game. If it gets back to Montreal, they're winning.
It's possible. Who knows? We'll see how Game 6 goes first, and then the Game 7 we do have.
Yes. So that is going to be. It's going to be a game right there, man. I'm telling you. Ovi already said the Caps are going to win, so nobody even needs to watch. Caps win, right? Exactly. So, but no. That's been a great series too. It's been low scoring until last game, which was fun. It was fun to see some goals, see some crooked numbers on the board.
Oh yeah. What were the shots through the first period?
20 to 17, I think I told you. And then I think I was watching the game even further. I think they had like 35 shots the Caps had through 2 periods. That's insane. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the end was high 40s to mid to high 20s.
Yeah,
so yeah, lots of shots. It was nice to see. They really opened it up on both ends.
They called penalties too. It's crazy. It's crazy how fun hockey can be when you call penalties and have goals
I know.
in it.
Like, Bettman can't be watching these games because how can he say the things he's saying?
I don't know.
That's another topic, but you know what I mean. Like, how can you not watch that game and be like, I should make this every game?
I know.
But yeah, I know. I totally agree. I think it's going to be a great one, and it's going to be tough. If Ovi already said he's going to win,
Lundqvist is on his game though.
He's on his game. Lundqvist might have other things for him. So
Kreider's on his game too. I mean, that guy I think is MVP of the series. Chris Kreider. I mean, he's been fun to watch.
Big and fast.
Oh, that's excellent. You know, and he's not afraid to go to the net and stick his nose in it, and that's great. You know, Chris Kreider, his development. You know, he was the guy, 2 years ago? Chris Kreider, who's that guy?
Yeah.
You know, the young guy, and here he is again, showing up for the Rangers. So it'll be a great game. You know, I don't know who's going to win. It'll be tight, I'll tell you that.
I'm glad this series turned out the way it did, and I'm glad everyone's getting the series they want next round.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the other two are kind of just like, everyone's like, round 2, here we go, it's going to be great. And then Chicago just steamrolled Minnesota.
Oh, Chicago's a top level right now.
And then Anaheim kind of just did the same thing. So, I mean, Calgary got a game, but it easily could have been a sweep. So, it's definitely it should be amazing to see two great teams that seem to be on top of their game just sledgehammers to each other.
Yeah, you better hope that. I guess one of them better hope they're ready for whoever comes out of the East, because the team coming out of the East is going to be fast. So, if it's a beatdown, those two teams in the West, you know. The Eastern Conference team could be in for maybe I wouldn't say an easy ride, but maybe a little bit of an advantage going in the Cup final.
That'll be great. Like you said, though, it's always about the hot hand.
Exactly.
Who can find it at the right moment? And
absolutely.
Honestly, I hope, Game 7, 10 seconds left, OVV Lundqvist breakaway.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
that would make my night. That would make my year.
It's the epitome of my life, goaltending versus scoring. That it comes down to that. That'll be great.
See who does it. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
So that's all we got for you today, folks. Thank you for listening. We talk some draft. We talk some NHL. So we'll be back next week with even more. Thanks for listening. For Chad and Bill, we are out of here.
That's it.